Ever so often, we play this particular theme song, which is indeed the theme song for the program, Both Sides Story, with loaded lyrics and a lot of lessons to be learned. And so we thank you for your indulgence as you waited for us to join you right here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's get straight into the program. We'll come back to the lyrics in just a moment. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 20th day of the 8th month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. The following is a public service announcement from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The Ministry of Health and Wellness invites parents, teachers, school staff, children, caregivers, and children with comorbidities, and persons 15 to 18 years old. This vaccination takes place between Saturday, August 21 and Tuesday, August 24. No appointments necessary. St. Anne, Monique Teachers College, York Castle, Abutment Gallimore High School, Marcus Garda Technical High School, and Turkey River Park, St. Mary High, St. Mary Anglican Church, and Notre Dame Sports Complex, Winters Martin, Grenadine High School, Highgate Primary and Junior High School, in Portland, Portland Turner High School, North Bay High School, Fair Prospect High School, St. Elizabeth, Black River Health Center, Junction Health Center, Santa Cruz Health Center, Newell Health Center, Balaclava Health Center, Bagotty Health Center, Aberdeen Health Center, Eldersley Health Center, Southfield Health Center, Bellevue Health Center, and the Newmarket Health Center. In Manchester, Mandeville Regional Hospital, Christiana Health Center, Foskis High School, and Belfield High School. Clarendon Lumber Town Health Center, Denman Primary School, Clarendon College, Spalding Health Center, Edwin Allen High School, Mayben Hospital, and Kenneth High School. In Kingston and St. Andrew, Jamaica College, St. George's College, Mulgrove High School, National Arena. In St. Catherine, Portmore Heart Academy, Eltham High School, Cousin Marty High School, Dinton High School, Guys Hill High School, St. Thomas, Red Bay Health Center, Yellis Health Center, Isaac Morant Health Center. In St. James, Mount Alvernia, Type 5 Health Center, and Delphi Health Center, Mount Carey Health Center, Salters Hill Baptist Church, and Sandals Inn. Westmoreland, Mannings High School, Savannah Lamar Health Center. In Hannibal, Hopewell High School, Hopewell Health Center, and the Health Center, Sandy Health Center, and Green Island Health Center. And in Trelawney, Cloudstown Health Center, Falmouth Health Center, Bounty Hall Health Center, Ulster Spring Health Center, and Rostock Health Center. Persons should take their school ID, the child's birth certificate, a government-issued identification, or a letter from a justice of the peace to the site. Let's get vaccinated and get back to life.
But wait, look at this Vincent. Like marbles. So what the other farmers can use so the pepper them come big and pretty like your own?
well, it's new. Make them what we use still in a eco-friendly biological pesticide. With this product, you might them can't touch my field. Yeah, man, it's environmentally friendly. It buy them proper and it don't leave no residual contamination. It's good for the crop, it's good for the environment. And guess what? It's good for the pocket too.
We are going to spread the word about this product to the rest of the farmers. You make things sense?
Yeah, man.
Get your eco-friendly unique pesticide at your local hypo dealer today. Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your Eco Corner with David Walker Huntington, June Power Talk on Power 106 FM. You can call our numbers 876-922-41125. The text and WhatsApp line is 876-268-7669. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here daily offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, how to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday, every Thursday right here on Pulse 106 FM.
It's young, it's fresh, it's worldviews from a youth perspective. It's Gen Z, navigating the ups and downs of everyday life. Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Power 106 FM.
It's the 20th day of the third month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. And according to the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, advisories are being issued on recently upgraded Hurricane Grace, located over the Bay of Campeche, a state of southeastern Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula. Advisories are also being issued for Tropical Storm Henri, located a few hundred miles southeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. In the meantime, there's also a tropical wave over the eastern Atlantic, several hundred miles to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, also known as Cape Verde Islands. The tropical wave is producing a broad area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. The wave is expected to interact with another one emerging off the African coast over the next day or two. Afterwards, environmental conditions appear marginally favorable for some slow development by the beginning of next week as the system moves gradually to the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Closer to home, here in Jamaica, there's a tropical wave east of the island and a trough across the country. Look for isolated showers and thunderstorms over sections of central and western parishes. Tonight will be mainly fair. Tomorrow, isolated showers and thunderstorms mainly across central and western parishes during the afternoon, while Sunday and Monday will be cloudy and windy, especially across southern parishes. In the United States, the month of August is still being observed as Children's Eye Health and Safety Month, a Gastroparesis Awareness Month, National Breastfeeding Month, National Immunization Awareness Month, Psoriasis Action Month, and Summer Sun Safety Month. St. Stephen's Day is being celebrated in Hungary. It's National Homeless Animals Day in the USA, Restoration of Independence Day in Estonia, and the King and People's Revolution Day in Morocco. It's also the eve of the women's 100-meter dash, featuring Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, Sherika Jackson, and Shakari Richardson at the 2021 Nike Prefontaine Classic, a Wanda Diamond League event in Eugene, Oregon. That race is scheduled for 1:51 p.m. Pacific time, which is 3:51 p.m. Jamaica time. And you would still have time to take care of business because, contrary to what some people believe, the newly announced measures do not kick in until Sunday. Now, one gets the impression that there's a bit of a rush on the road at this time. Not sure why, considering that people have time. The existing curfew hours remain today, going up to 7 o'clock this evening, and then tomorrow up to 6 o'clock, I believe. Tomorrow, Saturday, or 8, because we went back to the previous. There's a Right. Sorry about that. Right. So it's 9 o'clock uh, today and 8 tomorrow. So we still have time to get it together in terms of our organization of our affairs for the scaled down movement of people, which is what it is essentially, because as we all know, Jamaica cannot afford a total lockdown. In fact, technically speaking, no country in the world has had a total lockdown. They perhaps would have come close because of their resources, but not a total lockdown. There are people still have to work. The number one sector would be health, so that would still be humming, plus those who have to see to the distribution and the management of water resources, electricity, telecommunication services, etc., etc., etc. But we know that as a country, we're still not where we need to be in terms of our socio-economic situation. And because, as we were saying a day or two ago, our people depend on, we need each other. Generally speaking, globally, we need each other. There are no two ways about it. But here in Jamaica, a lot depends on people traffic, foot traffic, people traffic in and out of our communities, uh, in and out of our business places, in and out of our workplaces, in and out of our, well, I said communities already, because the idea is I can just set up a stool, put a stool and get a little turnover container and put some items on it. And whoever is walking by at any given time has an option of buying maybe a box drink or a bag juice or whatever other items are out there, some of which we're not mentioning here because we don't want to give too much turn too much attention on particular items. But you get the picture. That's what it is. Uh, but hey, we didn't forget to greet you properly. Let's greet you the way we're accustomed to. Hoy es viernes el 20 de agosto 2021 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est vendredi le 20 août 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un du souhait parce que nous savons que vous avez le bras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 20th of August, 2021, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. 2:30.
Jamaica is blessed with adequate water supply. Let us do our part in protecting this precious resource and enhance the productivity of our farmers. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow, as what we do today will impact our lives tomorrow. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture. Are you an accomplished professional with senior managerial experience? Optimize your profitability with a high-impact doctoral degree from the University of Sunderland, offered through the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. Practitioners without a master's degree but with significant senior managerial experience can also be considered for direct admission into the professional doctoral degree program. Apply online today at ucc.edu.jm or call us at 876-906-3000. UCC fostering leadership and innovation.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get on the vaccine. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safe for everybody from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally? When things were more hard than living, and if you want to live on, don't die. Then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated and be the heroes of the front line. It's a joke with you.
Power Talk has been a unique source of discourse on matters of public interest, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk brings you the new host who will take talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays, and Simon Prescott from Wednesday to Friday as they provide a riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for brand new features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Crosby Wednesday to Friday on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Right. So every now and then, as we said, we like to play in full the theme song for this program, Both Sides of the Story by Phil Collins. He starts by saying, find yourself in the gutter, in a lonely part of town, where death waits in the darkness with a weapon to cut some stranger down. Sleeping with an empty bottle, he's a sad and an empty hearted man. All he needs is a job and a little respect so he can get out while he can. We always need to hear both sides of the story. A neighborhood peace is shattered. It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows. while they watch their mother and father fight. He says she's been unfaithful. She says her love for him has gone. And the brother shrugs to his sister and says, looks like it's just us from now on. We always need to hear both sides of the story. And the lights are all on. The world is watching now. People looking for truth. We must not fail them now. Be sure before we close our eyes. Don't walk away from here till you hear both sides. Let's just repeat a bit of this, which is so relevant right now. And the lights are all on. The world is watching now. People looking for truth. We must not fail them now. People looking for truth. We must not fail them now. Be sure before we close our eyes. Don't walk away from here till you hear both sides. Here we are all gathered in what seems to be the center of the storm. Neighbors, once friendly, now stand each side of the line. And this one also rings true in too many communities in Jamaica. Here we are all gathered in what seems to be the center of the storm. Neighbors, once friendly, now stand each side of the line that has been drawn. Here we are all gathered in what seems to be the center of the storm. This is like a community at war. Neighbors, once friendly, they used to be friends, good friends. Neighbors, once friendly, now stand each side of the line that has been drawn. So these people who used to be friends, a line has been drawn now. One set on the left, the other on the right. Here we are all gathered in what seems to be the center of the storm. Neighbors once friendly now stand each side of the line that has been drawn. They've been fighting here for years. How many communities do we know in Jamaica where the fighting has been going on for years? They've been fighting here for years, but now there's killing on the streets while small coffins are lined up. Notice the description, small coffins. These are, for the most part, children. Small coffins, while small coffins are lined up, sadly, now united in defeat. Did you hear that? So here we are all gathered in what seems to be the center of the storm. Neighbors once friendly now stand each side of the line that has been drawn. They've been fighting here for years, but now there's killing on the streets. So it has spilled to, it has moved from the immediate precincts of the community. It's now out there on the streets. It has spread to the outskirts and elsewhere. They've been fighting here for years, but now there's killing on the streets, while small coffins are lined up. Sadly, now united in defeat. Nobody wins. United in defeat. Neither side wins. United in defeat. We always need to hear both sides of the story. And there's a repeat of one of the stanzas we shared earlier on. And the lights are all on. The lights are all on. The world is watching now. People looking for truth. We must not fail them now. People looking for truth. We must not fail them now. Be sure before we close our eyes. Don't walk away from here till you see both sides. Another verse. White man turns the corner, finds himself within a different world. Ghetto kid grabs his shoulder, throws him up against the wall. He says, would you respect me if I didn't have this gun? Because without it, I don't get it. And that's why I carry one. We always need to hear both sides of the story. And so there's your dose of the story of both sides of the story, which from time to time we play at the start of the program, and invariably we double it up, especially for those who would never have had the opportunity to hear both sides of the story. Let's greet those who have joined us. Robledo Black Pearl Michelle, good afternoon to you. Welcome. Rani Bell in St. Thomas, good day. Blessings to you too. Norman Hines, also in St. Thomas, says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. Good afternoon, Norman Hines. Leotine Bryan, good afternoon. Welcome. Faye Weller, hello to you too. And we accept your warm wishes on behalf of the listeners. Paul in Philadelphia, good day. Welcome. Nicola in Mandeville, Manchester. Velta Wilson in St. Thomas says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and other listeners. It's a bright and a sunny afternoon. We're blessed despite the challenges. Ricardo Porteous says, stay safe, everyone. Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan, and everyone listening, stay safe. Can we use this opportunity to say good afternoon to those in that shop at one of the entrances to the Coronation Market? Uh, the operators of that little shop were always playing Power 106 FM. Whenever we go to Coronation Market, that little shop at one of the entrances, not the main entrance that would lead you to the covered market, but the covered areas of the market in terms of fixed covers. But this is the next to the right of that entrance, that where it opens up like a yard with all these tarpaulins strung out across the area uh, to protect the people and their produce, their perishable produce in a lot of instances from the perils of well, not the perils, but indeed uh, from the elements. And that little shop there, always playing Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to you. Audrey Smith in Southampton in England says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners listening from Southampton. Wishing you all a very happy and blessed weekend and stay safe. Thank you very much, Audrey Smith. Carol Boyth in Calgary, Alberta, Canada asks in a rhetorical way, what's on my mind? The no movement cannot go on for too long. Not at all. What about the people who cannot afford to feed family for even a day? These are those who need to hustle selling goods and services daily. Well, we have been discussing this matter for 18 months now, quite frankly. And what we have consistently said is that the, the leaders must lead, and those charged with leadership must manage. Nobody said it was going to be easy, and it will never ever be easy. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Such is the nature of life, such is the nature of people, such is the nature of societies, etc. But what is always needed is a level head, a level-headed individual or individuals who make up the leadership, level-headed, uh, exuding a high level of mindfulness, a high level of mindfulness, a great level of awareness, an extraordinary level of understanding. We have to know our people, know our situation, know our story, because all of this will feed into the decision making process. All of this. And as the great management guru Peter Drucker told us a long time ago, those who seek to lead but fail to manage will become either irrelevant or dangerous, not only to themselves, not only to their organization, but to society. So it all boils down to management. Management. The management has to, and the decision making process must be data driven, uh, scientific, meticulous, and design oriented. One moment, please. You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:45. Exporters, have you heard? Certificates of origin are now online starting August 23, 2021. All exporters requiring a certificate of origin from the Trade Board Limited must submit their application using the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT. All locally manufactured goods and agricultural produce for export must have an authorized certificate of origin in order to access and obtain preferential treatment in other territories and markets. Traders, your benefits include greater convenience and faster processing time, online application, payment, and approval, online access to the approved certificate of origin, and a system-generated CARICOM invoice. For more details, contact JSwift at info@jswift.gov.jl to make a single window for trade. JSwift, your window to trade. Hey, you see these days, it's good to get straight to the point, quick and easy. That's why Western Union gives you another way to receive money straight to your bank account with Western Union's direct to bank money transfer. Visit the Western Union agent location and sign up now and tell your family and friends to send your next Western Union money transfer directly to your bank account in Jamaica. It's easy. Visit the Western Union location or call our call center at 876-926-2454. Sign up today to receive a money transfer directly to your bank account with ease. With Western Union, moving money for better.
Power Talk has been a unique source of discourse on matters of public interest, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk brings you the new hosts who will take talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Irvin Bear Mondays and Tuesdays, and Simon Croskin from Wednesday to Friday as they provide a riveting analysis of the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for brand new features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Croskin Wednesday to Friday on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, at 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but also your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes. You can call us via WhatsApp as well. And for those who like to dial direct, you can call direct to 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Clearing some more of these messages. Thank you, Carol. Carol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Sham White, good afternoon to you. Thank you for tuning in. Jessica says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm tuned in. Totally agree with your input regarding the no movement day, or do you mean days? Sham White says the supermarkets are jammed. There's no need for us to be jamming the supermarkets. Let's remind ourselves that the curfew for today, Friday, the 20th of August, begins at 9. So the curfew starts at 9 o'clock this evening. Tomorrow, Saturday, the 21st, the curfew starts at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Now, the following week, this, and of course, the first no movement, the first no movement day is on Sunday. Sunday is the first no movement day. Sunday, then Monday, and Tuesday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. And then after that, we're looking at Sunday, the 29th, no movement day. Monday, the 30th, no movement day. Tuesday, the 31st, no movement day. And then the following Sunday, the 5th of September, that will continue. And so that is the idea. That is the idea. So there's no need to jam the supermarkets or wherever, quite frankly. Paul in Philadelphia says, in terms of the duration of lockdown, the risk should be evaluated, prioritizing sickness and death from the disease using science. This requires good leadership. Thank you, Paul in Philadelphia, for your message. And he goes on to say, not politically driven, but scientifically driven. Not politically driven, but scientifically driven. Millicent Morris says, I always love that song. I didn't know that it was Phil Collins. He is a great singer. I love him. Keep up your great work. Blessings, love. I will sit and listen to him the whole day, says Millicent. Thank you for your message. Sham White is asking, why can't Jamaicans obey rules set in Jamaica? And when they travel overseas, they obey all the rules. That's because we have an appreciation for culture. Culture is a way of life, as we know in the simplest form, the simple definition. Culture is a way of life. So if the culture of a society is one of discipline, for the most part, you will always, nothing is 100%. But if yours is a culture of discipline, if yours is a culture of following directives, then when a Jamaican enters that space, rest assured that Jamaican is going to follow suit, because that Jamaican wants to keep his or her place or space in that society. For the most part, nothing is 100%. There are those who still carry their bad behavior with them. But that's the idea. If a culture is established that is all about order, law and order, if it's all about law and order, then those people who are born in that space and grow up in that space are likely to follow, for the most part. Again, nothing is 100%, but a lot depends on the culture. And that's really what it is about. What is your culture? Is it a culture of excellence? Is it a culture of discipline? Is it a culture of responsibility? Is it a culture of trust? It all depends on the culture of the particular society. Good afternoon, Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Hermin Hyatt, good afternoon to you too. Cherry Henry, good afternoon. Welcome. Hermin Hyatt says, please send birthday greetings to my sister Winsome Carter, hoping she will have a wonderful day and many more. Lots of love from Hermin Hyatt. And Velta Wilson says, having problems on Facebook. Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and other listeners. I'm not sure what is causing problems that you're having. We're monitoring Facebook from here, and everything seems to be working according to plan. And we're also monitoring the stream on YouTube, and it's going according to plan as well. Maybe you might want to be a little more specific as to the issue you're having with Facebook. Let's share with you a couple of the stories that are trending right now. If, for example, you haven't been able to follow, you've been up and about, taking care of certain business and doing what you need to do. Well, let's see what's trending on the Gleaner's website right now. And the Gleaner tells us PM asks cabinet ministers to declare vaccination status. Yeah, that one caught some of us by surprise, actually, when the question was asked of the Prime Minister about the extent to which the members of his cabinet were vaccinated. The answer was quite a shocker, quite frankly, quite a shocker. It would seem to me that this high-level decision-making body, remember we always say on this program that there's only one way to lead, and that is by example. And that this high-level body of decision makers, the cabinet, and we don't have a fix as to the vaccination situation within that group. If even for the basic safety and security, basic safety and security, it's not only the cabinet member entering the cabinet meeting with a licensed firearm that is problematic, because there's a sign that says they're not supposed to take them in. It's not only, in other words, it's not just that kind of weaponry, but surely you must know the status of your cabinet members, because it has implications for the work of the cabinet and ultimately the work of the country. And we have to make sure that the decision makers are sufficiently inoculated in order to carry out the task at hand. But anyway, there's a story which has now come out of that question that was asked. And the story on the Gleaner's online platform says Prime Minister Andrew Holness has asked his cabinet ministers to publicly declare their COVID-19 vaccination status. At a press conference last night, the Prime Minister could not say if all his ministers had taken the jab. This morning, he declared that it was critical for the public to know. It is very important that all our public leaders use their influence and to lead by example. The Prime Minister was speaking at a groundbreaking ceremony in St. Andrew, West Central, says the story in the Gleaner. Subsequent to his remarks, Minister of Local Government Desmond McKenzie and Mayor of Kingston Delroy Williams moved to the platform to declare that they are fully vaccinated, having received 2 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Prime Minister, I declare that I am fully vaccinated and would welcome 2 more shots if that is possible. I encourage everyone. The vaccination works. Don't listen to the rumor mongers. Don't listen to the mischief makers. Get vaccinated. It saves lives, says Desmond McKenzie, the Minister of Local Government and Community Development. So that is one of the stories trending on the Gleaners online platform. There's the tragedy of a British man jumping to his death at a Negril hotel. The Hanover police are now investigating a case of suspected suicide. 47-year-old British man John William Cohen is suspected to have jumped to his death from the third floor of a hotel in Negril, Westmoreland. Cohen, who was from Bromley, England, arrived in Jamaica on August 15 for a vacation. It is believed he might have been suffering from depression. Depression is real, listeners. It is real. And let's be on the lookout for those family members who are, and friends and colleagues who might be going through certain situations. Let us try and reach out and help.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 3 o'clock.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876 922 4112, 876 922 4113, 876 922 4114, and 876 922 4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 556 confirmed cases of newly confirmed cases of COVID 19 yesterday. 556. Miss Olive, uh, a listener from Florida, got in on the text line, WhatsApp line, straight line before you. Sorry about that. You'll perhaps have to hang on a bit until we're through with that call. But to complete the numbers, confirmed cases within the last 24 hours. These are numbers for Thursday, the 19th of August. 556 newly confirmed COVID 19 cases, which pushes the overall number past the 60,000 mark. 60,000 mark. It's now 60,488 COVID 19 cases overall, 34,059 females, 26,426 males. Sadly, we have lost 14 more people to COVID 19. As we always say, these are lives lost. 14 more people have died from COVID 19, pushing the total number of deaths to 1,356. 1,356 people have died from COVID 19 in Jamaica. 3 people are in facility quarantine. 41,623 are in home quarantine. 29 people have recovered from COVID 19, pushing that total to 47,628. The number of people admitted to hospital due to COVID 19, 564. 564 people admitted to hospital due to COVID 19. 123 of those patients are moderately ill. That's 123 of them moderately ill. 88 of them are severely ill. That's a new category. 88 of these patients are severely ill and 37 critically ill. 123 moderately ill, 88 severely ill, 37 critically ill. We wish them and their families well. For the 14 people who have died from COVID 19, as at yesterday, Thursday the 19th, let's just go through the list so you have an idea of the range and the cohort and the parishes. A 43-year-old male from Westmoreland, a 62-year-old male from Westmoreland, a 50-year-old female from Manchester, a 94-year-old male from St. James, a 57-year-old male from St. Thomas, a 70-year-old male also from St. Thomas, a 57-year-old male from Clarendon, a 51-year-old male from St. Elizabeth, an 88-year-old male from St. Elizabeth, an 89-year-old female from St. Elizabeth, a 67-year-old female from St. Elizabeth as well, an 87, an 87, an 87-year-old female from St. Anne, a 93-year-old female from Hanover, and a 79-year-old female from the corporate area, which is made up of Kingston and St. Andrew. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the deceased. If you need more information, you can visit moh.gov.jm, moh.gov.jm. Let's continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, here on Power 106 FM. And let's go to the WhatsApp line right now. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Honorable.
No, you're very kind.
Oh, I get the trumpet sound and Jesus coming.
What's that?
I get the trumpet sound and it's all like Jesus coming.
What trumpet?
Yeah, nice, like
No, that's Miss Olive. That's Miss Olive calling. Go ahead, please.
Oh, that's Miss Olive. Okay. That program we did yesterday with the interview with the doctor, did you have it?
Yes, it's you can go to Facebook and you can go to YouTube. It's there. And it's also on the Power 106 FM app if you go there before 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay, guys, he makes some serious point yesterday, and I no point I hear you telling me some of what he's saying.
Yeah, because he knows what he's saying.
Okay, can I say that? Because he said it, one thing he said that I take note of is the lockdown breed more this brother we have right now. Am I right?
The what?
The lockdown. When I did the lockdown,
Uh-huh.
they come up with more cases in this virus thing.
Well, that has all the people have always said that because the thinking is when you have a lockdown situation, it actually means that people are closer, meaning families are. But then again, it's a family. You have to live with each other anyway. So whatever happens, you try your best to be as safe as possible within the household. But generally speaking, a family is a family, and they have to relate to each other in that space. There's the feeling that because of how and where some of us live, that like for example in I don't want to call out any particular setting, but that people are likely to gather in the community because they can't go out. There's nowhere to go because there's a lockdown in place. So they stay within their area, no matter how small, no matter how poorly ventilated, etc., etc. They gather. They're likely to gather within that space because it's within their community, within their yard, etc. Now that you would have to then, in order to say definitively what you have said just now, uh, and uh, and I mean it's reasonable. It's reasonable to think that if more people are in their environment in the environment at any one time, then anything is possible, quite frankly, including everything.
The expert, the don't advise the prime minister. They don't look into these things. The possibility exists that people have more kids when something like that.
The thinking is because the virus needs people, and therefore, when people move around, they, especially those carrying the virus, whether they know it or not, when they move around, they are helping to keep the virus alive in more places, in more people, in more places. So the thinking is if you, for example, would normally go over to St. Catherine or Clarendon or wherever, on account of the scaled down movement of people, the thinking is that you would not you would not be able to spread anything beyond, let's say, your household or your immediate community. But part of the difficulty, here's it. In the initial stages, we were very, we were, we were more astute in data gathering in the initial stages of this pandemic. We were really gathering data, seriously gathering data, and going house to house in a manner of speaking and identifying the people and taking their information and documenting it. I'm not sure, especially with information we have gotten from uh, some uh, some very some professionals who would have traveled to Jamaica in recent times. They were just, they couldn't believe how easy it was to just step right in, without what was happening before. Before that, it was very detailed in terms of and organized, but that has changed. So that kind of breakdown means that now we do a lot of net fishing rather than spear fishing. One moment, please. You're listening to Power 106 FM. Your time is now 3:15. So that's also an issue. The fact that we're, because if we were doing it the way, if we were doing it now the way we did it then, in the expansive and extensive way we did then we would be able to identify. Notice, I guess, ever since community spread, we haven't been hearing too much about clusters, certain clusters, and therefore, because of that cluster, we're going to in we're going to implement a lockdown in that particular area, so it becomes more specific rather than the entire country on on 7 days, spread over a certain period of time. Are you there? Hello? Did we lose him? I think we lost that caller. Sorry about that. Feel free to call back. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Right. Oh, is that the person calling back? Yes. Thanks for calling back. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, well, I understand they're trying to keep it done, and we have to do all they can to keep it done. But what about those who, when you ever do these things, you have to go through the system, going and make the people know what is what. What about those who come into the country and have to leave the airport and they're running to the police?
No, all of that was dealt with last night. Whether you're going to or coming from the airport, provisions have been made for those going to or coming from the airport.
And one last thing.
Yes.
The thing about no funeral. I understand at the same time they might try to do all they can to keep it down, but me personally, if I have somebody die, based on what I hear, no funeral just from the mother to the cemetery. I wouldn't bury my people like that, animal like that. I have to find some other way of dealing. My thing with this funeral thing, what they should do, make all funeral director have a place at the airport. And if you have a funeral, whatever date, you let them know. They send two police and two soldiers out there to make everything in place. But just take the people like that. Because many people not agree with that.
Yes.
Hello? Yes, I'm saying they better have to find some of that way of make the people.
No, we heard you.
People with
we heard you. We heard you.
Okay, boss.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's just one of those situations, and it's global. A, a decision has to be made, one way or another. the hope always is that the decision is properly informed, and if put under scrutiny, should be able to stand up to scrutiny. But you will always have views and counter views, positions and counter positions, agreements and disagreements, debates, the whole works. That is human nature. That's normal. But in the final analysis, if one is convinced that one has been exposed to professional advice, data driven advice, scientific advice, design oriented advice, then and one having that sense of discernment to be able to discern that, hey, this is the right decision in light of all the foregoing. This is the decision. Then one has to live or die by the decision that one makes. That's the way it is. Or hold on, can you maybe move the phone a little away from your mouth or whatever you're using? It's if you go too close, it the sound becomes muffled. Yes. Yes, for those 60 and over. We've been talking about it on this program because we've received calls from people over 60 who have who have taken both doses of the two-dose vaccine, and they are still waiting for their $10,000 cash. We haven't heard. Nobody. I don't think anybody on the press conference yesterday asked that question. I'm not sure if it came up. No, not in Jamaica. Nobody's afraid to ask. Nobody's afraid to ask anybody in any leadership position any question in Jamaica. There are some who use different measures. Yes, they because it's for your own benefit as well. Anyway, if we're talking taxes here, it's for your own benefit. You're going to benefit from it anyway, one way or another. As I don't know about by any means necessary within the confines of the law. Yes. Yes. And not necessarily have to pay. The idea is an open line of communication between the creditor and the debtor, and that open line of communication is what determines the nature and extent of of how both sides proceed going forward, so that if there's an arrangement, because there are those as well where you make an arrangement or you organize to make an arrangement to deal with that matter, but it doesn't, the two, they're not the same. In this instance, the two things are not necessarily the same. This is an incentive that the government has come up with to get more people 60 and older to take the vaccine. And those who agree to take the vaccine, those who have confirmed taking the vaccine, they are now entitled to the $10,000. They would have gone online or been assisted to online, and it's just a matter of when those funds will be released. And the government should by now have at least made a follow-up statement in that regard to at least give people Hope is what keeps a lot of people alive, believe it or not, literally and figuratively. Hope is important. Hello? We lost him again. All right. Not sure if he was finished in terms of putting forward his thoughts and questions, but that's where we'll leave that for now then. To the phone lines now, 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Good evening to each and every one. How are you, Dervan?
I am giving thanks for life, and you?
I'm good to you. How are you the oxygen? The man of God that comes to the church of the hospital. The God that's from the revival. I'm here on the earth. You know the Lord, I want to find the God that right down the top of the Johnson. The church,
Yes.
you know, reach you. From the God that you can make it, that you got the God that you want to have the God that you want to have the God. I can hear you, everybody. Everywhere we need that prayer. Because I don't know, God, come to the church, I'm so good, God.
No, 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 no. People didn't come forward and say government must pay them. No, it's a government. No, it's a government. It's a government who took that decision because of the level of vaccine hesitancy, meaning people reluctant to come forward and take the vaccine. The government came up with that plan to incentivize the process by committing $10,000 to those 60 and over who would have taken the vaccine.
Yeah, that's what I mean there, but I think it's very sad. That you have to go so far.
Yeah, well,
That you have to how people money and all these things to take care of their own. But yeah, open the Bible saying things more about that. So explain to me and I understand. Because I understand that to me. Because I say, for example, here is free, everything is free. People, some people still don't want to take it. But most people do. I know there's some people that don't want to take it already. Waiting maybe for their second something like that. And they don't want to take it. And everything is free. So sometimes I think we make a lot of mistakes in our life. Young people will see it. Government trying to make a big mistake sometimes. I don't know why. But I make mistakes. And when I leave that, you know, in 1 month, 1 month, you'll be in a trouble now, right?
yes.
So maybe we get you 5 minutes now, you see, we don't know. And the vote already.
Oh, what was it? Electronic voting?
Now, let's not vote.
Oh,
They have places, you know, now is very special. To have our things like the COVID and all these things, to have our crowd and to have our this and to have our that. They set up places all over the country where you can go and vote early.
mm-hmm. Oh,
But now it depends on the time. And the vote already been vote 1 week ago. The vote.
I see.
Yeah, one other one, but really just for the vote. But here is not like Jamaica, like not a two-party system.
Right.
We are not in these 13, 15 different parties.
It's a coalition government. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah. And it worked very well now, and I'm not, it's not going. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to ask you to on Jamaica because I'm not Jamaica because I'm the one that you felt too much. So, the only reason it was
No, not at all. But damage of 170 million dollars worth of damage or something like that.
I see it on the news from the Portland. I could see it in here as well. I know and go up there. I got the valley before Bumbo Gardens there. I could see there's a lot of flooding and water and blah, 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 blah. So I'm there for that. I want everything going on in Jamaica. I bet you too. You listen to the radio. You listen to all of their cars. I'm not really part of the call about the radio part. But you just listen to everybody. Something about everybody because you have to get until you have to get to know what's going to be because you're not with. Anyway, you know, that was still you can always get before you can
Go ahead.
Okay. When do you tell you the people with a heart or you say, would I go to the die?
Would I go there may die?
And you can't tell me. I asked you, would I go to the die?
But you have to give me the answer. We have to go to the break. If you want to hold on, hold, but we have to go to the break. Good.
You contribute directly to Jamaica's national development when you pay your customs duties. Let's play your part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:31 on Power 106.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour.